Monday. It is 4:15 and I'm finally on my way home from work. What a Monday it has been, but I'd be so happy to be leaving. This time I actually remembered my cup of water that I took off my desk. I left my water pitcher at work. It doesn't travel well. So in trying to do the best thing for my channel, I sat down and really reevaluated where I want my channel to go and what is actually feasible for me working full-time outside the home or more than 40 hours a week. So as much as I wanted to cover have more content diversity on my channel, I am going to, for the moment, strictly my weight loss. And just the reason for that is I really would like to be able to put out more content that is less rambly, more meaningful. And here I am rambling, right? Well, I'm changing things up, changing the direction, I guess, more streamlining my channel. And there's going to be some changes with everything else coming up, have anything coming up to do with my channel. So I am at this moment archiving past videos just because I want the channel to be cleaner in its offering. Right now they're all over the place and there's not any one specific topic for coverage, and I'm really trying to clean that up. So as many of you know who have seen my videos before, you know I started doing Weight Watchers back in March of, let's say, I believe it was the 5th of 2016. And I started at 252.0 pounds. Now, that wasn't obviously the first time I've tried Weight Watchers. It didn't work for me the first time. The second time, I thought I'd really give it a shot. Excuse me. But in September 5th of last year, which was exactly 6 months later, I ended up relinquishing my Weight Watchers membership because I really was struggling, first off, with the difficulty of travel for me. I tried really hard to make everything work when we were traveling, but it just wasn't, it just was not an easy thing to do. At the same time, I was Weight Watchers online and I was paying $20 a month for the app that I could no longer use with my place of employment, as I didn't have a Wi-Fi connection, nor did I have really good service. So I ended up relinquishing that. You know, what's not the end of the world, I could always go back. And I wasn't really happy at the same time. I wasn't really happy with the results I was getting with Weight Watchers. I was busting my hiney. Before I changed jobs, I was working out between 30 and 45 minutes, 4 to 5 days a week. And I just was not seeing the return results that I had really hoped to see. In 6 months, I only lost about 27 pounds. I was 227 point something, and it came out to like 25 pounds or something I lost in 6 months. That is like maybe 4 pounds a month. Not cool. Not for the amount of work I was putting in. I was also finding that no matter how hard I tried, if I didn't eat every couple of hours, I was hungry. And not just hungry, I was like, I would get physically sick because I literally went from to totally empty in a hurry. And a lot of times I didn't get breaks at the job I had. I got one break at 5:30 in the morning, and of course I was totally starving by the time I got home at 2 o'clock, because that was when I got a chance to actually eat lunch. Just wasn't a good thing. 9 times out of 10, I was within my points. I actually earned fitness points when I would chat with Weight Watchers advisors on the internet. They would say, well, eat more because you're working out more. So I'd eat more, and I'd eat more for like 3 weeks, but each week I'd steadily gain, and it was not muscle, people, not muscle. Then they said, well, okay, so work out harder. Well, I couldn't work out harder than I was. I pushed myself because I wasn't seeing results. Then they'd tell me to, okay, back off on the intensity. Maybe I just needed to shake it up. So I backed off on the intensity. None of these things worked. None of them gave me the return results. And I would retain water at the drop of a hat. And I just didn't understand it. So I just wasn't getting the results that I was looking for. After I relinquished my membership, I continued to eat as close as I could to my Weight Watchers meals that I'd had. I had printed out, that's the good thing about Weight Watchers, I had printed out my food journals, so I knew kind of what things would cost me point-wise, if you will, and what my fitness would earn me point-wise. And I continued to eat that way, but because of the change in my job, I was only walking 6 to 8 miles a day, and that was all work mileage. That was not extracurricular activity, and I was working 10-hour days, did not have the energy to do anything on the 3 days I had off. Literally nothing. There are days where I was lucky to get out of the house. Church was the only thing I really wanted to leave the house for on the 3 days I had off. If you fast forward to January of 2017, at the end of January, I was promoted within the company to a different branch, totally different job. It became a desk job, which was not a big deal, except I went from walking 6 to 8 miles a day to barely getting 3. I mean, barely. Some days I'd get 1. It depended on what my tasks were for that day and everything else. And my weight, since I quit Weight Watchers, despite trying to stay with the Weight Watchers eating, my weight steadily went up. Even when I was walking 6 to 8 miles a day, it would steadily, slowly, but steadily go up. So fast forward to March 28th or 29th of this year, my weight went from 227 point something to 232 point something. Not cool. Really not cool. And I just didn't know where I could fit in exercise with the hours that I had, with the changes going on, the training, the extra training outside of work that I was doing. I just didn't know how to fix it. So I was researching anything I could get my hands on. And I discovered keto. I had heard of it before, didn't really like the sound of it. I mean, really, I couldn't have any vegetables. That didn't sit with me well. I was diagnosed a couple years ago as gluten and dairy allergic, so this snack on cheese and cream in your coffee kind of stuff, that didn't really sit with me either. But into looking into it further and really paying attention to everything, I realized that that's not the way it's got to be. So I spoke with my doctor, spoke with a nutritionist. Nutritionist was totally against it. My doctor basically said, whatever works. You can't hurt, you know. I'm going up now and I'm eating really good. Why not try switching it around? But if I were to do that, she would be interested to know what would happen if I reintroduced dairy. Well, though she does not, would not ever advise gluten on the days that I decide to have cheat meals, she would be interested to know what would happen if I reintroduced a little bit of dairy. Okay, so at the end of March, I tried it. Beginning weight, 232 point something. I have lost steadily, slowly, but steadily, since I started keto. I have been doing keto for less than a month. I think, I'd have to look, but I think this is day like 16 or 17. And I've lost more on keto than I've gained since I quit Weight Watchers in less time. I have reintroduced dairy in very small amounts. I use full fat whipping cream, heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I use grass-fed butter in small amounts. I try not to cook with cream or dairy too much. That's a little more than my asthma can handle. But, for the rest of it, I do okay. So from now on, my channel is going to be based around my keto weight loss. And for any of you who, you know, kind of thought like I did, well, gee, that's a lot of dairy and you don't have any vegetables, I have to tell you, I get all the vegetables I want. Granted, there are some that no, I can't have unless I really count the carbs. I try to keep my carbs at a total count. I don't do the net carb thing. I don't do the bulletproof coffee and fat bombs. Let's face it, ketogenic diets are meant to burn fat, and I'm a powerhouse. Free. I don't need to eat it to burn it. Hi guys, sorry about that. My camera cut off on me. Essentially, the ketogenic diet burns fat, and I want to burn the body fat that I carry around. So I don't want to burn through dietary fat that I am ingesting. I do saute with coconut oil, olive oil, that kind of thing, but that's as far as it goes for me as far as, you know, overloads of fat. I do the fatty meat, I do eggs, avocados, that kind of thing. It is a high fat diet, but all my fat does not come from protein. So I just don't ingest unnecessary fats. I do get plenty of vegetables. I get leafy greens, I get cruciferous vegetables, green beans, and basically anything dark green, I can eat it. If it grows above the ground, general rule of thumb, if it grows above the ground, okay, but count the carbs. If it grows below the ground, leave it alone. And that's really the rule that I follow. So I get plenty of vegetables. I don't miss them. I don't get carb cravings. I don't crave any sort of sugar or anything anymore, and that is just so nice. I don't get hungry. I don't get hungry eating keto like I did when I was with Weight Watchers. There are many nights where I have maybe a meatball or a piece of jerky or a boiled egg for dinner, or I just plain don't eat anything at all. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm thirsty, I drink. If I'm not, I don't. I don't have to worry about chugging a bunch of water down or anything else. For those of you who might have been under the same, might have had the same misconceptions, I get plenty of those. The one thing I will say is with the keto diet, it's essential to get your electrolytes, find the balance that's good for you. I have not had to deal with keto flu because I started tapering carbs a week for 1 week. The first week I basically did keto. I tapered my carbs off for almost one full week, and in doing so that's my salt usage by way of pink Himalayan sea salt. I take a magnesium supplement, and I have for a long time. That's nothing new. And I sleep better than I did. I don't deal with insomnia anymore. Hungry on keto is really different than hungry with Weight Watchers. I get hungry now, and it's more like an empty, and it's okay. I don't get physically sick when I'm hungry, and it takes me a lot longer to get hungry. I get a 9 o'clock break for 15 minutes. I get a 2 o'clock break for 15 minutes. And somewhere in the middle there, usually between 12:30 and 1, is a 30-minute lunch break. Oftentimes at 9 o'clock and 2 o'clock, I don't eat anything. I just take a mental break. And for breakfast, oftentimes all I have is my coffee with cream and erythritol. That works really well for me. I don't miss any of the things, and I really don't miss feeling hungry. So that is where my channel is headed. If anybody is welcome on this ride, I fully recommend watching Dr. Eric Westman, his white coat videos. He is one of the leading experts with ketogenic diets, and there's probably so many questions that his videos could answer for you. There are so many people out there. Just scour YouTube and Google and talk with your doctor, anything, before you really fully make a decision. I will tell you, I much prefer this way over Weight Watchers. I don't think about food like I did. With Weight Watchers, I was kind of, I wouldn't say obsessive, but every thought was, okay, well, I can eat again at this time, or I need to eat again by this time, and what's the next meal, and what am I going to have, and how many points is it, and I don't worry about that. The only things I track are my fat, protein, and carbs, and really it's to make sure my protein doesn't get too high and my fat and carbs are at right levels. And my fat needs to be higher, my carbs need to be lower. So those are the only numbers I really watch. Beyond that, I don't care how many calories are in it. I can tell you my FitnessPal, which I still log, tells me that I am over calories most days, but I am steadily losing weight. So, I guess it's all in how your body responds to things. And this has worked well for me. I hope you stick around and find out where this journey takes me and to see the informational videos that I have planned. My goal with the way the streamlining is I can get so much more uploaded so much more often, and I'm really hoping these changes make a big difference in the information that I am able to provide. We'll talk to y'all later. I hope you had a beautiful Monday and enjoy your food no matter what it is.